Content warning. This podcast contains bones, blood, smut, and swear words.
Before we get into the good shit this week, we wanted to remind you that we have a Patreon. For just $1 or $2 an episode, you get extended games, brand new content, access to our notes and murder boards, and much more. So, if you would like to sponsor our efforts to scale up Marie's sourdough production to world-conquering proportions, you can head over to patreon.com/frontlinefifth or follow the link in the show notes. Okay, now back to that sweet, sweet Bone Zone action.
We're all, imagining a giant sentient ball of dough just, consuming everything, right? Okay.
Act 1. Welcome, penitents. Hello and welcome to the Frontline Fifth, the Locked Tomb podcast, where a couple of delightfully naive teacher's aides explore the locked tomb for the very first time, while a couple of dried-out bone witches cackle over how little they really know, although they almost know as much as we do. We're currently reading Note of the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, and this week we are pushing through our exhaustion in John 5:4 and Chapter 30 because Noodle's in the back. How many times am I going to cry this week? Okay. I'm your host, Marie, and holy shit! We're almost done with this book. Hannah, how are you handling our approach to the inexorable end of the series so far?
I'm not feeling great about it, Marie. Thank you for asking. I'm becoming more and more trepidatious by the day as we get closer to this, because we are going to reverse roles for Alecto, and I am not sure that I can emotionally handle being not as good at this as John and Brooke have been. I, was able to pretend up till now that I would have found out all sorts of things that they wouldn't, but we're going to see. I'm nervous about Alecto. I'm so afraid that she's going to fuck it up. But she won't. She won't do it.
She won't. There is pretty brand new news on that front, because I think it was just this past week she gave a talk in Cambridge, and once we have finished the book, once you guys have finished reading in a couple days, I will send you the link to Tumblr posts that have summarized that, but the TLDR is there's no actual date on Alecto, but it's probably fall 27.
A whole year.
Oh boy.
There's other cool stuff in there. One thing that I thought was particularly interesting was questions about Catholicism, and Tamsin being yeah, it's not just I grew up Catholic, I am Catholic still. Or at least that was the gist that people got. And I was okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. That's
Can
not
I
just
say,
right when I was in Catholic school kind of
We
stuff.
should seriously consider during the Alectopause, now that we know we're going to have a lot of time, we could do this, but for the Bible, because I've never read that shit. I don't know what the spoilers are.
I'm Catholic.
I have a rampant speculation.
That could be a fun Patreon episode, is us.
I won't do anything aside from Genesis. I mean that sincerely.
I was going to say, I've only read Genesis of the Old Testament, so we could absolutely do this format for the Bible.
There's some interesting ones. I think Job, actually, genuinely, I've never read Job. I just know generally the idea, but I think philosophically, that would be a fascinating one actually to do. Genuinely. Anyway. Okay, also with us today are Brooke and John, who, let's face it, are less and less naive every episode.
I'm not happy.
So kitties, how are you feeling about being this close to the end?
I still feel very naive. So I'm very nervous about it being the end.
Yeah, I still think we have no idea what's going on, even less so than we did in the first books.
Well, here's the deal. You will have very shortly all of the book knowledge, but there's at least one more short story that will put a cap on things. And then also, you have not spent years reading the Reddit forums and Tumblr threads. So
yeah, which I should.
I
by
still
the way,
am up
so
on you there.
Hannah says that she's very nervous about flipping roles because she's worried about having to try and figure things out 2 chapters at a time. But I would also like you to consider how nervous someone like me, and I don't know if John feels this way too, is about the role reversal of having to read a book as many times as possible in this crunched amount of time, not having that exposed to the lore for years, and then have to do as good of a job of outlining this as you guys have.
Oh, I feel like you can be confident, Brooke, that John, at the very least, will
have
do
gotten
some deep
really
dives.
into the lore. Okay,
And will
John,
have
you're in charge of
dug
outlining.
in just because he wants to have that, he's ready for this role, I feel. And so I think that you can continue to bring your really great insights and your skepticism.
I would also like to point out that I still have never been on the internet.
Yeah.
That's true.
Very dear friend Taylor yesterday called me a boomer mom because I accidentally took a screenshot when I was trying to show her a video of my child. So what I'm trying to say there is that you can get away without going on Reddit.
I was just going to say that, I'm excited as we rapidly approach what I am considering the podcast equivalent of Greenskeeper Revenge, which
don't know what this is.
In golf, it's a tournament where the grounds crew fucks with the course as much as they can to make it as hard as humanly possible.
That's awesome. I'm
as
completely obsessed with
revenge
that.
for golfers complaining all the time. And I am excited that we are doing the podcast equivalent of that. So I'm
Sean's definitely in charge.
I am stoked.
This is objectively the best thing I've ever heard about golf. I'm so sorry because I'm going to piss off all of our infinite golfer fans. As you know, that's a huge portion of our fan base. But I had a conversation with our merch witch, Sonia, and she was like, the only thing I really feel like I just couldn't handle in a child is them liking golf. I was like, Sonia, that's the thing?
This is already a tangent that we didn't need to get into, but my husband's been getting into golf.
Oh, no.
And him and I have had this strange
Reese
report
would like
around
to.
the whole thing where it's so wild. But he's like, I don't understand why you don't like this. It's me getting movement and going out and doing things, not just sitting and playing video games, which is what you've always told me I need to stop doing. I was like, yes, but this is the sort of thing that takes you away from your family for 8 hours on a Saturday. And that's not cool.
But it gets shorter as you get better. It should only really be 5 hours or 4 hours.
It's never shorter because you
should
do
only
the
be
golf
5
for as
hours.
many. It's never shorter because you do the golf forever long, and then you go out for beers, you go out for a meal.
No,
it's always going to be 8 hours.
You eat hot dogs at the turn, and you have drinks the entire time,
No,
and then you go
drink
home.
beers, you're not eating, and then you go out for more beers because, I don't know, you were too busy playing
Brooke,
golf
you're
or
kind
something.
of selling me on this.
Clearly, he isn't a good golfer because he's not eating hot dogs. Between. And I say this as somebody that has a golf mat and a golf net on our deck right now that I use occasionally. I'm still terrible at golf, though. So
So there isn't a ton of meat to these chapters, but I still think there's a lot to think about. So is there anything in particular you want to call attention to?
yeah, with page breaks for new chapters, this was 9 pages.
That's what you want to call attention to. Fair enough. How about you, Brooke?
I'm so pissed about the Harrow thing right now, about apparently God's been talking to Harrow this whole time, which is what he said in the first chapter, and we were like, no.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Literally just walked out of it, and now here we are back here again. I'm very pissed about that.
That would be stupid, right? Why would he be doing that? Oh, God.
There's at least 2 things that I want to talk with you guys about, but I'm not yet.
We're not ready.
Yeah, we're so close.
Next time.
We are legitimately so close to being able to talk about this thoroughly. But I hear you. I mean this sincerely. There's a whole bunch of theories that we've gotten in our inbox and we've talked with Lizzie about, blah, 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 about what the tower is and what it means. And I feel that none of them coherently explain to me what the fuck the tower is and what the tower means. So I
found a good Reddit thing today, though. But again, can't talk about it until we finish the book.
I'm looking forward to talking to you about it, Marie, without these clowns.
Hey, guys.
One more time.
Really
One
too
last
sensory.
time. That was
Extra
really
sensory.
off key. Sorry.
I didn't know
I'm
it sounded great from here. Anyway, that's me.
Wait, there's another thing, which it's Noodles in the back. I gotta say, there's something went wrong with me somewhere at some point in my life, because it is such a funny fucking little bit in this Nona chapter that we get where she's like, it's gonna be okay. Nobody's gonna feel it when they all die together, and it's probably gonna be for the best because shit's fucked right now, and this is just the way. Noodles in the back. No, my God, I forgot. Okay, so I don't have that, whatever that character trait is that says animals are 100% innocent and don't deserve to die under any circumstance. I don't have that. I don't get it. What's broken?
Nothing's broken in you.
Is it just me?
I don't think we'll get there. We'll get there because Noodles in the back is probably the thing I cry about in this book more than
Me too.
Cam and Pal.
Me too.
So we'll get there. And it doesn't have to do with the innocence of dogs.
I am so looking forward to elevating a minor character to when we take over the podcast so that you guys are paranoid about them being so important or not the entire book. Because
the way we're obsessed with Noodle, I'm so sorry. The way we're obsessed with Teacher.
well, no, the worst part was it was a yo-yo the entire time because like, oh, Noodle's going to be important. No, Noodle's not important at all. And then we get to the end, it's like Noodle saves the day by existing. It's like, God damn it! Like,
I mean, Noodle is important,
for
but also
teacher, like just oh my God, yeah. I've got all this. All this is up here in the.
I love that John is
the
like
top and bottom of my brain. Yeah.
Oh damn! An elaborate prank war that we're gonna have to walk into, as though it's the Lichter trials.
I will fail at it. I am going to let you take over memes, Hannah.
Yeah.
Except for the very end that I have hidden from the newbies.
Perfect. One of the things that John casually mentions while he's talking to Harrowhark is the flood as a like world-ending concept. That's, you know, Noah's Ark. It's all about cleaning up all of the bad people and replacing them exclusively with good people and saving just the animals, Brooke. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Just the animals.
So that's there. He mentions like a power washing ad, spray and walk away. I don't know if that's a real reference or not, but it easily could be.
I Googled it and it was all shower cleaner, and I was like, that makes sense. It's like the spray and walk away shower cleaner, like the daily shower cleaner. I was like, yeah, spray and walk away.
Well, yeah, I mean, a rhyme is just so good for a jingle, for an ad. I have to assume that many people have used spray and walk away. Okay, and then the other one is John also says nothing satisfies me, nothing. And I'm sure this is not a reference, but what it gave me was the moment when Captain Barbossa in Pirates is like, nothing, you know, nothing can slake our lust, not all the apples in the world.
Not the wind on my face, not the salt of the sea.
Yes.
What the fuck?
So that's where I was. Okay, bring it, Marie. It is
I have
time.
one last thing. Can you guys see that when I highlight it?
Yes.
Uh-huh. We have a cipher that you're revealing.
Yes. And I did not figure this out. I found this from the Reddit threads. You've been like, what do these chapters mean? Like, why is it this way? There's like, number one, the chapters are that way, so it sounds biblical. Number two, it is an alphanumeric cipher. So if you just do the A equals 1, B equals 2, the chapter titles spell out the tower has reactivated.
Ugh.
Brooke, are we dumb? Did we not try that? I don't think we tried that. Like just
Why
a
would
simple
I ever do that?
alphanumeric.
No.
Ew.
No,
Why would I ever try and turn it into a cipher?
I actually
okay.
thought this was fascinating because you guys are like rampantly speculating, but you managed to completely forget about the numbers.
Yeah.
In the first
I
couple
did look
episodes,
it up once or
you were
twice,
like,
and it
yeah,
like wasn't obvious or apparent, and so I just
Yeah.
kind of dropped them.
too funny. And I will say, I am with you, Brooke. This is, I think, the most boring, you know, lore drop that Tamsin has done. It's cool that there is a cipher, and maybe I'm just like hurt
Here's
because
the
I did
thing.
not find it.
Yeah, like, okay,
It might be more
fine.
interesting. I'll have to find it, but the ARCs, the advanced reading copies, had a different version of the cipher. So it was the
That's
tower
true.
something, but it wasn't reactivated. And I don't remember. It was like something similar.
Okay. That is interesting, the word reactivated. I don't know if that's going to be something we learn more about. At any rate, here's the thing. It seems so straightforward and obvious that these books have, like, constant religious text undertones. So, like, why wouldn't it be related to the actual religious text? And, like, we were probably just missing whatever the direct line was. Kind of like, there's a skull at the beginning of every chapter, and there's a little religious, what do you call these, verse chapter?
Yeah, chapter and verse.
Anyway, so I think it's dumb. That's all. But it's fine.
It is wild that none of us managed to like find this while we
No.
were reading it. Not a one of us.
Anyway, with that, I'll have our John press down the accelerator because he's the tallest, while I steer us straight at the tower in Nona the Ninth, episode 18, To Love God. Act 2, Recognize a Different Divine.
This section of Frontline Fifth is safe for anyone who hasn't read past chapter 30 in Note of the Ninth.
Let's recap. John 5:4. What does it mean to love God? The mathematics. I'll start there.
In the dream, they sit on the beach, and John doodles a heart in the sand. He starts with a J plus E, scratches it out and puts an A, scratches that out and finally puts an H.
Earth, Electo, Harrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
She asks, what does it mean to love God? And he gives a flip answer because he's a dick. And she's more insistent, and she says, what does it mean for a child of the ninth to love God? And he gives an entirely inscrutable analogy, which is hashtag classic Jod. And we just kind of move past that, and she knows in the dream what will happen next. He'll resurrect them. Resurrecting is different than waking up. They'll bring back the ones he wants to bring back. Anyone he can look in the face and forgive. He'll bring back his loved ones. G will be the easiest. None of them will remember anything. He has to make them forget because they won't forgive themselves. They'll spend the rest of their lives asking, what ifs?
This is just such rationalization, and it's such patently obvious rationalization. First of all, he says this thing that he'll bring back anyone he can look in the face and forgive. But at multiple points in this series, he has said things like there can be no forgiveness. He's going to say that later in this chapter as well.
And he wipes other people's memories because they won't forgive themselves.
Oh, well, and forgive themselves feels like the wrong thing. You know, it's like whether or not they're going to judge him. Because immediately
he's
after
taking a God approach.
That's right. Yeah.
And it also makes the things that he said to Mercy Morn and Augustine even more fucked up, where he's like, the person that you used to be wouldn't.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe they would hate it even more.
Like, yeah, right. Who are you to say?
How would they know?
Yeah.
They don't even know who they are.
Like the level of power, like this is just even more of playing God. The level of power he has over all of them because he's the only one who actually knows what happens. Like when you control the narrative of history, you control a lot.
Yeah.
I also just think it's so tragic is the wrong word. It is sad to me, and it's sad in the way that is pitiful. So Jod is pitiful in the fact that he is so fucking childish that he is that terrified of people judging him, that he is that terrified that his friends won't like him anymore, that he is that terrified that anyone would ever disagree with him. It's insane to me and so horrifying to me that these people that he describes as the people he loves, he's not willing to trust them to be people, to have their own memories and understanding of a situation.
Well, and if that's true, then it's the least godly thing and the most human thing ever, because how many times have you ever wanted, any of you in your life ever wanted to do Control Z on something that you just did?
100%. That's, yeah, absolutely.
He says he needed to do it. There was no other way. Once those bombs were going off, there was no hope for Melbourne. G was dead meat. But wait, didn't G's bomb go off first?
Harrow!
John says, what does it matter? In the end, why the hell does it matter?
This is also one of those things, and there have been several of these in this book, where you're like, are you rewriting history in an intentional way? Or do you literally, have you like erased the memory for yourself? Who are you trying to convince here? Are you trying to convince Harrow, or are you trying to convince yourself that you did the right thing?
What it reminds me of is the way that we've learned that memory works, that every time you access a memory and think about it, you are rewriting it with your memory of it. Like it rewrites itself. And so
playing your own internal telephone game.
Yes, you have changed the memory, which is why you have to be very careful about the stories you tell about your past, because the way that you talk about it and the story you tell about your past will become your past.
Your brain does not have good version control. Like it's not a thing.
No version history.
Yep. There's no version history. And I feel that that's a lot of what goes on here is just he's told this story both to himself and to other people of what happened enough times that like that is essentially for him reality.
And there's no written history to correct him.
Yeah.
Except his own stories.
So he'll resurrect some, wake up fewer, never more than millions. She knows she won't have to die if he's alive. John's afraid of so many things, but she's only afraid to die. And when the disciples try to achieve lictorhood, John just watches them misunderstand the process.
Which is so fucked up. Incredibly fucked up. He just sits there, and he wants to be the only one who's an actual God, right? Like in theory, if they understood the process, well, they could at least...
Right. It's going to be fun to see how God and Paul interact.
It could be a pantheon as opposed to just monotheism.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other thing that just floated through my brain was that one of the things he says, like, you can wipe it clean, you can start again when they're talking about resurrecting all these people. It's like, did he do it multiple times? Like, did we get like a Matrix situation?
I have theories about this too, John.
Yeah, where it's like, this is the, I forget the exact, but it's like, this is the like 7th time we've done this and we've become exceedingly efficient at it. And it's just like, did God try this multiple? Like, is that why Canon House has all those fucked up time signatures from the first book? Is like, he's been putzing around with it this entire time?
These are fantastic questions.
Yes. And I mean, I think we will get so far into this in our group ramp and speculation and murder boarding that we'll inevitably do after this. But I encourage you to go back and read the poem at the beginning, because that to me also had some energy of the like, how many times have we been on this merry-go-round? And the answer is we don't know, So it may just be once, but it feels like it could be constantly rewriting. Yeah. John has like a really weird argument for why no one else can have perfect lictorhood, and I didn't understand it. I don't know if you guys felt like you understood this.
Nope.
I don't think I do either. He
Just
says
sounded
God,
like words.
God must be able to touch all of creation. I can't die if she's alive. She can't die if I'm alive. Why would you let something like that run around, Hera? Why would you let someone go away from you, untouchable, 2 people?
Got no fucking context for understanding that.
All right.
I have no idea with that, but also that contradicts kind of what we've learned about why the tomb was built in the first place, right? Like it went from being
Does it?
But well, yeah, it sounds like he purposely locked her up as opposed to like it was like a
The
confinement.
asking.
Yeah, like the lictors being scared and him having to do it with regret versus him like purposely locking her up as like as a phylactery, right? As like a literal lictor.
You're totally
like
right.
Sorry, not lictor, a lich thing, right? Like she's become the phylactery in the cave, in the tomb.
Yes.
It just
agreed.
And then
I'm not sure if I care about his intention, but I think it's certainly.
And my read on at least was God must be able to touch all of creation. Well, he can't touch other perfect lictors, right? Like there's something there that's just beyond him. Like
we also got maybe the sense, I don't know if this was between Varun and Alecto, that like Alecto may, oh no, actually even from these dreams that like there's not, which I don't even know how to interpret the dream, the beach dream situation anymore. but that like maybe that Ael wasn't actually pleased with God at all. And so like if she was trying to like maybe reset this, take her own things into her own hands, right? Then that would also be another reason for him to be locking her up. It's because she was operating against him.
And it's not even like he locked her up. He like put her in a coma, right? Like it's not like she's like pacing in a...
Yeah, like that body seems soulless, right? In the tomb.
Yeah, we're in stasis.
There's only one thing left that matters. They are still out there. There can be no forgiveness. And at the same time, there can be no forgiveness for me. Nothing satisfies me. Nothing.
Great. Might as well keep on being God then, huh? No objectives.
If I'm God, I can start over. It gets dirty again, you clean it again. Sometimes I think the only reason I haven't done it already is that I can't bear the idea that I wouldn't be able to touch them, that they'd still be out there.
Does that mean that he hasn't messed with time?
I mean, I don't know about that, and we can talk about it.
I think we can say our theory, can't we?
There's no reason we can't. I think you're right, that this is the last we get of Jod. So go ahead, Marie.
My theory, and I think that this is colored by Reddit stuff, but I also think that I just kind of mostly, like this was fairly organic myself, is that he's waiting and it's taking 10,000 years because there's a line where he says it's going to take him 10,000 years to understand the math behind the quantum leaps. And so I think what happened was that the ships that left Earth got stuck in like some sort of quantum time loop, or he has to like try and figure out where they're going to pop out.
Doing quantum wheelies, if you'll remember.
Right.
And he literally says a line that says it'll take me 10,000 years to understand the math.
So does that mean
he's waiting for the literal billionaires?
He doesn't know where they are?
Right. He doesn't know where they're going to pop out, and they haven't popped out yet.
Oh my God.
That is my theory.
I like that, but I actually really like that. But
I think there's definite holes in it.
But like if the billionaires haven't popped out, then why is he like
Who's he fighting?
Yeah, why is he going after like and murdering all these planets and people if they're not the descendants of the billionaires?
Because I think that there was not just one ship. but there was one ship he touched.
But that's the one that got away. He thought everything else got away. You think there were multiple?
I think everything else got away, and there was, like, they were leaving everything. Like, the way I read it was that all the ships were leaving, everything got away. There was one that he touched and he had for a minute, and then it slipped out of his grasp. And that's the one that got stuck because he touched it. It got stuck in the time well, and now he's looking for it.
Interesting.
And then everybody else is actually descendants, because obviously there have to be descendants. Like, it could be something different. It could be something completely different of where Blood of Eden comes from.
And we can get into some of the details that we feel like came up about there seem to be sort of tug ships that like anchor some sort of signal so that you can get out of that quantum space. So like maybe the descendants that are on these other planets are from those ships as opposed to from the trillionaires that were actually like on the quantum faster than light ships. I don't know. But it's very clear that Jod is driven primarily by vengeance against the people that he thinks abandoned Earth. And that, I mean, even Cassie says this, or not Cassie, C says this over and over in these past things, that like he cares less about saving the planet than he does about punishing people. And I think this is an interesting line here where to me it sounds like he's saying that sometimes he wishes he could like truly start over, including starting himself over, but he can not bear the idea that he wouldn't be able to touch them, that those trillionaires would still be out there unpunished.
Cool.
Harrow Hark wants to understand just one last thing. The mathematics. How many of the resurrection are left, and how many you began with, and what the discrepancies are.
So she's just trying to call him on his bullshit, right? Is that what's happening like multiple times here and with the mathematics right here as well?
I have theories about this, and I think we have to wait until the end.
My read on this is that, like, I think Harrow probably is in a unique position among the 9 houses where she's literally watched her house basically collapse over the last 20 years or so of her life. And in the second book, God just pulls out, like, oh, hey, I had these in my back pocket the whole time. Mm-hmm. Like, you could totally have this. And also, like, we're subjugating new planets. Like, there's tons of resources. Like, we could have, in theory,
repopulated your house. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you wouldn't have to be eating, like, snow leeks and, like, you know, all this other bullshit. So, yeah, I'm sure Harrow's just like, number one, I want an accounting of this. But number two, like, at least the 9th house got, like, absolutely screwed the entire time that she's been alive, basically.
Well, now she said she's been seeing things through Alecto's eyes somehow, some way, some shape, some form. And so I think there's probably that aspect that's influencing her. We don't exactly know what she's been seeing and how, outside of kind of like the story that God is telling.
Out past the beach, Harrow can see a gray tower that spears through the river. And so Harrow is going to journey to find God. And she's going to start there, at the tower. Meanwhile, in the waking world, Act 3, The Hole in the Road.
Chapter 30, The Tower. Nona's middle thoughts. The tower in the river. Noodles in the back.
Nona opens her eyes. Her body stands up, breaking her seatbelt, and brushes Pyrrha away like she's nothing. There's a fair bit of chaos around her. The truck is in a bubble that Paul has built in the river, and debates are going on about river travel. Crown is trying to talk to the captain, who seems to have kind of left. Pyrrha is checking on Curiona, and Nona taps Paul on the shoulder and tells them, I'll take it from here. And Paul doesn't push back. Instead, just moves aside and lets Nona take the reins.
Paul's no dummy.
This is just so weird. Does it imply that, like, the spirit of planets knew some level of necromancy beforehand? Does Alecto picked up necromancy and, like, understanding of necromancy during, like, her entire time?
I would argue the Earth is the original necromancer.
Like, is that how, like, necromancy spreads? They're all, like, it's just...
The circle of life.
It's weird.
I mean, at least we know that all of Jod's powers directly derive from Earth, from Alecto, right? So there has to be some really intense connection there.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not really doing necromancy, right? Like, she's not, like, doing this river bubble in the end. She's like, the water doesn't want to touch us.
Yeah.
I'm immune.
Nona can feel the separation between herself and her body, and if she thinks about it too hard, she's going to break something. So Pyrrha says, Kitty, stay with us. So Nona stays. And she has Paul pop the bubble, and suddenly everyone can see the mega truck driving along the surface of the river. And in the river, they see the tower. Nona's middle brain thinks it looks like something out of a picture book. Her top and bottom thoughts know what it is, but she's trying not to engage those. Something about the tower terrifies Nona's top and bottom thoughts so badly that her heart literally starts shutting down.
I love this. This is one of my favorite pieces of like metaphor and like analogy, whatever that Tamsin has done. The top of your brain or like the front of your brain is advanced function, right? Like it's where like your cognitive function comes from. Your midbrain is like sensory, right? Or just like how you perceive things. And then like the brainstem, like the bottom of your brain is like your like most basic like survival, like your nervous system.
I love that.
It's like, oh yeah, this looks pretty. Midbrain says. Top of brain says, holy shit, this is terrifying. Bottom brain says it's terrifying, and it's for like two
Such
kind of
flight.
yeah. It's like for two separate reasons. Like
I love that.
The like animalistic part of her brain's like, holy fuck, run away. The like smart part of her brain's like, holy fuck, run away. And like the part that's like, oh, cool tower.
That's a tower.
I don't know if Tamsin meant it like that, but that was just like something that was really fun.
I like that, and I have never interpreted it that way, but I like layering that interpretation on top of mine, which I will save for later. Nona drives the truck straight into the river, and it swallows them up. The pressure is building, the windshield starts to crack, and Nona's so tired. She just doesn't want to drive anymore. She's so tired. She could close her eyes here and just die. If we end here, it'll be just like a bad dream, won't it? It'll be quick. And Paul looks at her with a bit of alarm and just says, Nona, Noodle's in the back. Oh God, I'm gonna cry.
That's what does it for you?
Yeah, every single time.
So here's the thing, Brooke. If you have ever been terrified of your own thoughts and had similar things of like, maybe it'd just be easier. And it's not Noodle for me. That's not what their names are.
Yeah. It's the thing that holds you.
Pulls you out regardless.
Yes,
but it's the thing that keeps you here.
Well, and it's not, so you're absolutely right. It's the thing that keeps you here. Beyond that, it's the thing that keeps you, right? I mean, I think it has less to do with the fact that Noodle is a dog, less to do with the fact that Noodle is anything in particular, and more to do with the fact that Nona is a person who's so defined by her love and delight. You know what I mean? And this is like, this startles herself back into who she is. Like, this is such a Jewish thing. This is you say when you look at like a little kid, you go, oh, he's such a person. You can see all of the parts of him that are making. And this is how I feel about Nona as a character, is that Nona is some sort of weird mask thing that's happening, but Nona is such a person, and a huge part of who she is that genuine, overwhelming delight and love. And to have that moment when she comes back to herself because she's tied to the world by the thing she loves, it feels so fucking human to me. It feels so powerful.
When I read Nona for the first time, I think I was actually flipping back and forth between audio and like e-reader. And this surprised the hell out of me because I was listening to it. And I can still remember exactly where I was because I was driving a different way than I ever drive to work. It's like this underpass bridge. Like when I drive past it, I have this visceral reaction. And every time I read or hear Noodles in the back, I have this visceral reaction because it's just, yeah.
Core memory.
Yeah, but it's everything about it. Any case, this also works for Nona because she goes, oh my God, I forgot about Noodle. And so she drives the truck home.
Home?
That's the word. When you are really sick this way, because that's a thing that I've had too, shit fades out to gray for me, right? Like things blur. Everything is just less real and less important, and you are less of a person, and you are less connected to everything. And it is just exhausting. And it's strange how sharp it feels when you feel something again. And it doesn't even matter what it is. But in this case, the thing she feels is this surprise, that love. Oh, Zuko has joined the chat. So
yeah, he knows.
That was good timing.
Paul's decision on what to call out, though, was like a good one. Like, I guess,
yeah,
Paul knows.
If Pal and Cam are technically gone as individuals, Pyrrha's here, but Pyrrha Pyrrha's lived a long time, right? I don't know what that is exactly. And so Noodle's the last thing that she has to hold on to in this, like, group. She said it's, what is it? It was, like, not even crown.
Yeah, I think it's also something of just, like, everybody else could take care of themselves and maybe it would be fine. Like, maybe everybody else would be fine, too. But Noodle wouldn't be.
I like that a lot,
You do
actually.
have to do it. You have to do it for Noodle. Like, Noodle couldn't make that choice. The only choice you can make is the choice for Noodle. You can't make the choice for you. You can't even make the choice for Pyrrha. You can't even make the choice for Paul. They all made the choice. You don't know.
Yeah, they're under the Blood of Eden Protocol 1, but Noodle is not.
Noodle isn't. You have to make the choice for Noodle. So she does. Yeah, so Noodle's in the back, we're nearly through the river, and it's time for a game! Interstitial, something out of a picture book. So, team, I still have no fucking idea what the tower really is, and instead we're going to focus on other towers. That's right, this week there is no game, only learning. So take it away, Hanna.
It's quiz time. We are back to playing Two Truths and a Lie, Tower Edition. What do you win if you can climb all the way to the top? Absolutely nothing.
Not even pride?
No. There will be no pride. Only a long fall and a kersplat. Brooke, here we go.
Shit.
Eiffel Tower. Here are two truths and a lie. It is currently 59 feet higher than when it was built. It was originally built for the 1889 Exposition Universelle and was supposed to be dismantled after 2 years. And about 75% of the 7 million visitors it receives every year are foreigners.
That one's got to be the lie, because the other two... Well, God, is 59 feet just a dumb number? I don't know. Why else would that happen?
Why would it be taller than when it was built? Did they disassemble it and rebuild it?
I'm having so much fun.
That would imply that roughly 1.5 million French people go every year to visit it, which seems...
That seems high.
I don't know.
I'm saying the visitor one is the lie.
Yeah, I'm going to say
we'll all go with that one. That one's a lie.
I'm going to say they put like an antenna on top of it. No.
They did put an antenna on top of it. That is why it is higher than it was built, was all of the antennas they have added. Unfortunately, according to the main tourist website for it, 75% of the 7 million visitors are indeed foreigners. You got to remember how many Americans go to see Mount Rushmore. Nobody from outside is going to see that. So I feel like there's got to be people in other parts of France who pop on over to Paris and go to see the Eiffel Tower for reasons unknown when you could go see Notre Dame. So
a picnic
here
with a baguette
is the lie, and it's me being a dick. It was originally built for the 1889 Exposition Universelle, and it was supposed to be dismantled after 20 years. It took more than 2 years to build. That's me being a dick. You're welcome. But I'm going to make it even better with the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Here we go. 2 truths and a lie. There are 296 steps to the top. There are 294 steps to the top. At its peak instability, it leaned about 8 degrees from true. Find the lie.
You know what?
I'm going to say the lie is the 8 degrees because I think it's worse than that now.
I also was going to say, I'm metagaming this. I'm assuming that there's actually, you get to the top and there's 2 staircases that go to the top, and one of them has just 2 less stairs or is uneven or something. I'm going to say that it's more than 8 degrees.
A broken stair in one place that makes it 2 extra on one side than the other.
Although more than 8 degrees from true could make it so that it doesn't even stand. But I'm not an engineer, so I'm going to go with that anyway.
I'm saying the lie is the middle one with 294 steps.
Well, Marie is closest to the truth. There are indeed, as Marie and John said, 2 staircases, and one of them on one side is 2 steps shorter than the other. And here's the thing, 8 degrees would have it fall over. At peak instability, it was only 5 degrees away from true, and they've propped it up. It's now about 3.5.
Is that really such a visual obvious thing?
Isn't that fucking bonkers?
Apparently.
Because it looks like a crazy lean. And I was looking at the lean, waiting for it to be 20 degrees off, and they were almost 4 degrees. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
No.
That's the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but that's what the internet said, and I have to trust it because I have no other way of... library? Who, me? Okay, here we go. Moving right on.
Who has one?
The Burj Khalifa. It was featured in the all-time great movie Furious 7. It is officially termed a megatall skyscraper. And some of the steel was salvaged from the Palace of the Republic in East Berlin.
I feel like it's the middle one. Isn't it like it's a superstructure or something? It's like a megatall, I feel like is...
Megatall is too dumb of a name that it just pisses me off, and I want that to be false.
I know for
I
a
agree
fact
with
it was
that.
in Fast and the Furious 7, so the first one's true. I'm going to assume that seems like, yeah.
The other
pop-
two feel correct.
Yeah, let's
enough.
go with megatall. I don't think it's megatall. Like, I think it's a different term.
You guys all agree?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I gotta tell you, John, you led them astray by saying it was in Furious 7. That's not what's in
It
Furious
was
7.
in
It's the two
Furious
towers.
something else.
It's the two towers that are in Abu Dhabi. That's the
Oh,
ones that are in
fuck.
Furious 7, not the one in Dubai. Crazy. You're not mixing up your UAE towers.
Crazy.
So it is a
Megatall.
megatall?
Megatall skyscrapers are skyscrapers that are at least 600
Who gets
meters
to
tall.
name things?
Let's not get started on this because it's mostly you scientists getting to name things, particularly species names, and I have beef with some of them, which we
Oh
can
my
cover at a
God.
later date.
Yeah, but then we name protein Sonic. Then you have to name the thing that goes with that hedgehog.
There's the whole Asgard Archaeota.
There's like a whole phylum that are Loki Archaeota, Odin Archaeota, Thor Archaeota, Heimdall Archaeota.
All right, well, we could at least launch immunologists into the sun for naming like the interleukins and like all of that stuff.
Agreed. Numbers are not good names.
They're the ones who would name things fucking megatall. Anyway.
I would be happy to launch the immunologist into the sun.
Here's the problem with megatall.
Tell me, Brooke.
It is not a quantitative metric. Because, for example, this is
Are
something
you
I deal
upset
with a
because
lot
the
in my
prefix
life.
mega actually means something?
That's
I
another
don't-
problem.
Does it?
Yes!
What is how many zeros?
Oh, I think it's
I
10
don't
to the
know.
6th, 10 to the 9th. One of those.
I thought it was a small island that Jason Statham hunts sharks on.
You know what?
If it has zeros, then I'm satisfied.
Okay. Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel is a parable that warns against defying the will of God. Or it provided the inspiration for naming the Babelfish in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Or
That's true.
it is thought by some historians to be propaganda to challenge the Babylonian claim of divine superiority.
So I know very little about the Bible, but isn't it the Tower of Babel like the origin story? Like it explains why people are scattered all over the place.
Yeah, I don't think it's got to do with the defying the will of God, right? I don't fucking know.
The tower was too tall, and so you break the tower and then make it so people can't talk to each other. But also, I feel like that's like, there's like two interpretations. There's like the popular interpretation or the way that people think of it, and then there's the actual Bible story, and I don't actually know the actual Bible story because, again, I'm Catholic and we don't read the Bible.
Jews definitely don't read the Old
That's a
Testament. I
joke.
don't know what to tell you. There's too many begats. Begats?
I'm saying the first one's wrong.
Yeah, let's go with the first one. Well,
Yeah.
it feels weird.
The first one is wrong. There was a twist.
Yeah.
It is a parable that warns against pride. God
There
never
we
told
go.
them not to build the tower. They were just too prideful in building their giant tower and being like, I can touch you, God. And God was like, fuck off, you can't. So let's keep moving right along. We have only two more, but the first of those is Barad-dûr. So here are some facts about Barad-dûr. Construction began around the SA 1000 and took 600 years to complete. It was
What's
constructed...
SA 1000?
I have no fucking idea, but it is part of the way that the Lord of the Rings Wikipedia defines ages and eras. And I have to assume it's part of the
gotcha.
Silmarillion, which I have not read. And my husband would be very mad at me if I did not point out that he has read it and deserves all the credit. Okay, so here's
Okay.
another fact. It was constructed using stone mined from Mount Doom. And it was
Makes
the
sense,
seat
it's
of
close
power
by.
for Sauron into the Fourth Age.
I don't know which age is which, so
I'm going to say it wasn't the seat of power because Sauron didn't have a seat of power
Same.
when he was just
Oh.
the ring, but I don't know. Also, Barad-dûr is the eye tower, correct? God, I'm going to get...
Yes.
My nerd credentials are getting stretched here. I wouldn't have been able to pull that out of a hat.
SA might be 6th age. So then the
The
other
Sauron
is
thing would
4th
be
age.
wong.
So something's wrong.
You're
I
right
think the Sauron
there.
one's wrong.
The ages are wrong, but it's because it falls in the Third Age. God, all right, here we go. Very last
God, we're
one.
so good.
The Dark Tower. So, two truths and a lie. Stephen King lists as inspiration for his brilliant series, his seminal series, the poem Child Roll Into the Dark Tower Came by Robert Browning. The Geographical Wonders of the Southwestern United States,
That one's absolutely true.
and or the movie The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, starring Clint Eastwood.
What?
That's the lie.
No, Clint Eastwood. Get out of here.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Wow.
So
Sorry.
was that you casting your vote that Clint Eastwood is a lie?
I'm functionally tone deaf, listener. I don't think that's come up before on the podcast. I can't sing. I have no sense of rhythm. I can't dance, and I can't match tone or sing at all. So that was my impersonation of the theme song for The Good, the Bad, and the
I
Ugly.
thought it was phenomenal. And I gotta tell you, he explicitly says that his main character is based on Clint Eastwood from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Cool.
Somehow, he did not at any point say that it's based on the Southwestern United States, which I am quite offended by because it so fucking obviously
You know
is.
what?
All of the descriptors could have been in southern Utah or northern Arizona, so he can go fuck himself.
I believe Marie. My first thought was he's from Maine, and he wrote these coked up in Maine winters. So there's no way that he would ever pay respect to the southwestern part of the United States.
I don't think
And then
he's
Marie was
ever
like, no, that
left
is a
New
thing.
England.
Yeah.
He thought it was an alien landscape.
He didn't think it existed.
Oh, okay, I'm done
That's
now.
funny. Thanks, Hannah. I'm not sure what I learned.
But it was terribly diverting, and I'm not at all as excited that we get to leave this behind for some rampant speculation. Act 4, Resurrection, is different from Waking Up. Brooke and John aren't just great at befriending dogs, they're also brilliant conspiracy theorists. So Brooke and John,
Are
what
we?
the fuck is happening? I don't know, we'll find out.
All right.
Tell us.
My level of like piecing things together was at the level of being like E for Earth, A for Alecto, H for Harrow.
Yay,
I feel good about that.
job. I feel
So-
good about that too.
Yeah, here we are.
I had things, and then the tower has been reactivated, completely fucking obliterated them.
Why?
How could that obliterate anything?
All right. So this makes me think that there's like a natural order to things, and they built a river, or like God and the lictors created geoengineering basically to make the river. Like they disrupted the flow of death, and maybe they sunk the river or sunk the tower or whatever this tower is. But the fact that it's like been reactivated makes me think that it's some like part of the original machinery of death that they messed with. And I don't know whether it's like the tower that you use is the river purgatory, essentially. Like if we're going by like Catholic dogma, where it's like the middle ground and like you can go up or down in the tower, and that's where we're at. Is it more just like like I thought of the Tower of Babel as well, like as part of the like explanation for this. Is it like the origin of death, right? Like the hubris of, I don't know. Like they maybe God built it in there as like a way
That
to
you go up high to touch God. I mean, that's where Harrow's going to find God, so maybe you're onto something by viewing it as a Tower of Babel. And then if you go down to the low floors, eventually you find the stoma.
I mean, and also we have like our Cannon House, right? Like Cannon House is like essentially a tower,
Right,
its
so-
own tower.
In some ways, like when they first introduced the tower, my first thought was Canaan House in the river? But I don't think that's what we're seeing there. Also, Nona calls it home, but she's scared of it. I don't fucking know.
It's so yeah. I started going through like the religious things, and I also started going through like notice as like a fairy tale, and I was like, in fairy tales, you put princess or treasures in towers, like you put like valuable things. So like, did he use the tower for part of the resurrection, and then like stick all the extra resurrection people in there, like you like basically keeping them
The
in
tower
storage?
has been reactivated. So do you think the reactivation is an action of God? Because Varun is starting to suggest you waited too long. They did something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who the they is.
My conspiracy before the tower being reactivated was that he waited too long to wake up the people that he resurrected, but have kept basically in stasis, and so they've been corrupted, and it's basically like the teeth corrupted people are gonna come out of the tower.
Our building in the river?
Yeah, like they're like that not necessarily demonic, but essentially that like evil presence
Yeah.
that is coming out of the tower and taking advantage of all the resurrected bodies that are just sitting around. And in theory, submerged in the river. I don't know. That was my original theory, but now the tower reactivated might have just thrown me for a complete loop.
Yeah, I got no idea. Okay, what I do want to briefly touch on, are we going to make it to the 9th house?
No reaction from them. I can only assume we're making it to the 9th house because the tomb still has to open.
I like that. This has been 5 days before the tomb opened, the whole book. Okay, so let's assume we'll make it to the 9th house. I like that. We're going to bypass this tower somehow. Could we like rehash a little bit what all these chapters have been in the dream world with Jod? Okay, have we been in the river this whole time and the river keeps looking like what God would have maybe seen post-apocalypse, right? Because like at times we're like in his like lab, it seems like, or in his like facility. But then like...
Yeah, I kind of view it as like it's a like dream river bubble type situation where like Harrow's getting parts of this through the eyes of Alecto's body that's in the tomb, right? Like something like that.
Maybe. Do you think it's kind of like this like
Hold on.
weird
Is Alecto's body still
overlap
in the
between
tomb?
the two of them?
Am I losing my mind? Alecto's body's still in the tomb, right?
We don't have any reason to believe it's not. But
okay, then Harrow's spirit's just hanging out there, right? Like she goes
Well,
and
we
curls up
thought
in the...
my guess was always that Harrow just kind of tucked herself into the river and unoccupied her body, right? Like at the end of Harrow the Ninth, it just seemed like she kind of unoccupied her body there.
Yeah, but she's like seeing things through Alecto's eyes, right? But it's like also
maybe,
personalized to her.
But Jod seems to like... So I don't know if Jod's consciousness here is like aware. Is like, if this is actually like, you know, like a recorded memory between two people of an interaction, right? Between Harrow and Jod happening in this dream state. Like, I don't know how to interpret like things that happen in dreams where souls cross if they're in the river, and like if that like
is it like a is it the fraction?
I don't know if it's real.
Is it the fraction of John that's like in Alecto, like because like he reacts and like it's not like a memory, right? Because he reacts to things that Harrow says that I don't think
It's
Alecto
not a pre-recorded thing,
Alecto
right?
wouldn't have said, right? Like Alecto.
He's calling her Harrow.
Yeah,
But sometimes Harrow doesn't act like Harrow necessarily, right?
Yeah, but I don't.
Is this the part where you hurt me or something? Like there were a lot of points where it like seemed like he was talking to somebody who was there at the end of the earth. So at some point that ends up turning out to be Harrow? Like,
yeah,
I don't
is
think
it
that
some
makes
weird
sense.
time river bubble memory shenanigans? And it sounds like it's like somewhere in there. In that triangle. We just don't know where.
And if Harrow's been seeing Alecto's memories, like maybe she is occupied. Maybe this is the full Scooby-Doo soul swap situation. And then like there's a little bit of weird sharing happening as a result.
It implies at the end when she walks off towards the tower that we just saw on the river from Nona's perspective, it implies at least partially she's been in the river the whole time because it's like, yeah, I'm going to go with memory, dream, river bubble and just cover all the bases.
Nice. Cool. But how does she connect? How does that end up connecting her to Alecto? Is it because Alecto's in her body? That there's like this little like sort of swapperoo of souls? I don't know. The two of them are overlapping and outside of like the situation of Alecto being in. Do you agree with that or no?
I just assume
like Alecto's in Nona's body.
I just assume it's because Harrow's in the tomb right now. Right? Like Harrow's chilling.
But she's not if you think she's in the river. Like, is the tomb in the river?
Like no, like I was thinking more of like a metaphysical, like it's
portal.
Like she's like in the tomb and then like, you know.
Right. Her river bubble is a picture of the tomb or something, which is not how Palamides worked, but whatever. Palamides saw the last thing before he died, right? Unless Harrow's been dead this whole time.
I mean, what is dead in this book? We've covered that like 6 times. Dead means nothing. Like Harrow
need to not believe in it.
Harrow's body's been walking around. Her spirit's been experiencing like the apocalypse / dream world that with Alecto and John. I don't know. There's who the hell knows.
Did we solve anything, John?
No.
Great. Do you have anything else?
God's a piece of shit. More confirmation that there's some time aspects here that we don't understand. Confirm that he is driven entirely by revenge, which I think we had floated at one point as a potential like motivating factor. But yeah, other than that, no, I don't feel like we really covered. We haven't gotten resolution at all. I'm going to be really impressed. Although it sounds like we really will not get much at the end of this, and we're going to be spiraling even more once we can talk about. But
we only got 2 more chapters.
Yeah. I feel like Tamsin's done a really good job previously of putting a bow on things while also making that bow part of just an endless Gorgon knot of clusterfuckery and everything else.
Dropping the floor out from underneath you.
Yeah, yes. So I'm hoping she's able to do it again where it's like we get like a
present Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, we get like we get everything tied up, but it's just part of a bigger knot.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see if John's right when both Brooke and John get some casual new chaos in the very final chapters of Nona the Ninth.
If you, dear listener, are, like me and John, reading along for the first time, make sure you find our reading calendar on our website, frontline5th.podbean.com, or follow us on Instagram or TikTok. To support us, you can buy merch or join our Patreon, all of which are linked in the show notes. And if you like this podcast, please share it with your friends and give us a 5-star rating anywhere you can. And if you didn't like it, feel free to lie. Now head off to sleep, my baby necros. Mommy and Daddy have some deep spoilers to discuss.
Get in, losers. We're going speculating.
Act 5. A thought above and below.
Warning, this portion of the podcast is 98% spoilers and like 2% snickering.
Seriously, we will spoil anything and everything in the series up through Nona the Ninth, and if that's not what you want, turn back now. Disclaimer, this was not recorded right after, so I have no idea what Brooke and John said because I don't remember anymore.
Neither do I.
So we'll just talk about what we want to talk about.
Honestly, we do that anyway. It's perfect.
Yeah. Okay, we're so close to, like, I guess next time we won't even have a secret special spoiler section.
Yeah.
It'll just be all of us being like, okay.
I really, like, so I have not yet written that outline, and I don't know what to do. Like, do I even include a rampant speculation section? Do I even include, like, a spoiler section? It's going to be kind of a weird episode because we will all be caught up. Dear listener, we're not going to go fully into rampant speculation next time because we are going to have at least one episode that is all of us murder boarding together because there are just so many open questions, right? So actually, for me, in this set of chapters, one of the things that I was thinking about a lot was Pyrrha again. And I still am like, I'm so hung up on what Pyrrha's motives are and what Pyrrha's history is. And neither of those is totally clear. You get lots of little clues. She remembers a lot more. She but it's not obvious to me what Pyrrha's end game is. And so, I mean, still an open question.
Still an open question of like what Pyrrha wants, what Pyrrha knows, what Pyrrha is, what Pyrrha was.
Yeah, there was this weird moment in this one where Pyrrha is trying to say to Cam and Pal that she's loved them, and she wants to say like they were her own, and then she like pauses and switches from that because she's like, I don't even know what that would mean. But it made me wonder if Pyrrha ever had kids or if Pyrrha ever wanted kids. Like, did Pyrrha have a romantic relationship with Gideon, OG Earth Gideon? What was Pyrrha's understanding of family before this? And what, she has a weirdly, she's got a fun auntie thing going on when she's like with Nona. Here, kitty, like buy you funny t-shirt, the kind of thing. And she clearly had some sort of fun auntie relationship. I know we do.
I'm so sad that we never did mustache ride t-shirts to prank them.
That is, it's a tragedy. Life slips away from you so fast. We're just going to have to erase their memories and start again.
Yeah.
I also, we're going to get next time, I think, this whole thing about Pyrrha also having helped paint a nursery in the ninth house. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. All of our Anastasia, Alecto.
There's a lot there.
Pyrrha theories of who Anastasia actually is. And what's going on with Alecto and the ninth house.
Oh, it's going to be so good. With respect to these chapters, I don't know how much you want to talk about the tower, but this is the first time that our newbies encountered the tower. We've talked about whether it's Canaan House. We've talked about lots of kind of weird things about it, and I don't think we know enough yet. We told our newbies about the code that says that it's reactivated, which implies that it's been activated before. There are no ghosts in the river, but I think that's because Varun is there with them, as opposed to anything else. What do you think?
There is, let me see if I can quickly find, there is a post from Reddit that's this week that I want to, this week or last week, very, very recent, about the tower that I want to read. Okay, here we go. Theory. So, I love this. This is on the ninth house Reddit. The username is Burnerners.
Okay, great.
And It says, theory, the tower is based on ... What if I told you that the following sentence summarizes part of another literary work outside of TLT? Alecto guards a tower in hell containing the trapped, suffering, dead souls of people who have denied God. In Dante's Inferno, a tower guards the city of Dis, a city that houses the deepest circles of hell, circles 6 through 9. The 6th circle, which you reach immediately after reaching the tower, is for heretics, aka those who have denied Jod.
Yeah.
The 3 Furies guard this tower. Their names are Megara, Tisiphone, and Alecto.
I am floored.
Abigail Pent even spends some time in Harrow the Ninth, around the 75% mark, discussing how believing in the river beyond, i.e. leaving the river after death and going somewhere else instead
It's
of
heretical. It's a heresy.
into hungry ghost madness in the river while waiting around to maybe get resurrected is considered heresy. Muir is too referential for this to be an accident. I wouldn't bet on any specifics, but I do think it's a safe bet to say that the tower is related to Alecto and that it contains lost heretical souls.
I'm all in.
Whether this means the original 10 billion or everyone who's ever died since the resurrection or everyone who's tried to leave the river and failed, I'm not sure. Love to hear anyone else's thoughts. And in the comments, they point out that we have Alecto in the book. We have Tesiphon wing.
Yes.
We don't. Are we going to see Megara in Alecto?
That would be fascinating. That would be really, really interesting. I also just I'm blown away by this because there's so many ways this works, right? I mean, we know that he says that he's only going to bring back the ones that he can forgive, right?
Yep.
Which suggests that there's like a huge portion of people that he's not bringing back. He makes this very clear distinction between resurrection and waking up, which makes me wonder if he's holding on to their souls without having actually brought them to the surface. I love the idea that they're just fucking packed into the tower.
Alecto says, and there's a few things going on there too, which is Alecto says in the dream, where are all the people? And then Alecto, when she's woken up, she says, you've left them too long.
Yes.
When she's on the 9th house.
It's also interesting in the context, I love it in the context of these chapters, now that I'm actually back in my notes and I know what we were talking about, this whole thing about Harrow searching for another god, right?
Yes.
She's like, what does it mean for a child of the 9th to love God? Because there's something different about being of the 9th. And we know that from the very beginning in Canaan House, everybody else has the same prayer. The 9th house is something else. And I almost I like the idea that Alecto's dead body, Alecto's dead soul in the tomb is actually guarding an entrance to the tower in some meaningful way. And that the tower is full of heretics. Wow, I really, really like that. I think that's completely fascinating. And I certainly...
Well, and it's important to remember what heretics means, right? In this sense, because
it's just denying a douchebag.
In the world, right? In this sense, it would be, which goes along with Jod saying that he would only bring back those who he believed were worthy of it, right? Which really means anybody who agrees with him, anybody who wasn't fighting against him.
Yeah, 100%. This is, and then I was going to say, the thing about Abigail Pent's, heresy about the structure of the river, that's one where I don't know if that's something that Jod has, been trying to tamp down so people don't know about it, or if Jod just doesn't know that much and doesn't like when other people actually question beyond the bounds of what he knows, which reminds me of his attitude towards the nun that we know will become Christabel, right? That he doesn't like when other people actually are smarter than him and actually thought more deeply. I love that. Do you have any thoughts about, with respect to the tower, there's some specifics. So it's specified as a bell tower. Do we care about that at all? I thought that was so interesting. I didn't notice it, but this time around it's specified as a bell tower, but you're too far away to see the bell. And that made me wonder, it was giving the bell rings out. It's giving Judgment Day. It's giving, a call to arms in some meaningful way, which I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that feels very much like judgment.
And then the river water is pounding itself into the place where it wanted to be, even if the river itself didn't. And I was like, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I got nothing. I just thought it was interesting.
Well, and I think that the newbies did, now I'm thinking back to it, I think the newbies did bring up, or at least John brought up, is the river something that got made by Jod? Is basically the river something artificial, and that's not the actual way that things are supposed to be? And I think that goes more with our suspicions on what the tower is.
Yeah.
Or what, not the tower, what the river is.
Yeah.
Which would then go with is the tower also basically some sort of artificial thing? Or was the tower there to begin with? Because you also have a note here of reactivated.
Yep. It's not clear to me. For me, it seems like... For me, I really like this idea that, like, Jod has somehow dammed up the river. That, like, death was always some sort of river, some sort of ocean, but that it's corrupted now in a meaningful way. It does feel like he created the tower. And that's what reactivated definitely is giving for me, is that this was like an intentional thing that was activated and something that was done with purpose as opposed to something that just always existed. I have a couple other random things that I wanted to like put into your headspace. So there's this part where Crown is saying, Judith, stop, come back, like pleading with Judith. And then for a brief while, Judith is clearly Varun, right? And all of that happens in the river. And suddenly I got really concerned about, like, did we leave Judith's soul behind? Like, is there a Judith that can come back? I literally don't know. If you've, like, displaced her in the river. I was thinking about that time when Mercy was like, we'll just fucking kill you dead if you try and leave your body in the river. And so it made me wonder what Judith is going to be in the next book, whether she's going to be the captain, aka Blue Madness Central, whether she's going to be Judith Deuteros, aka a rule-following person that I hate, but I love that you love her so much. The Judith Deuteros, #1 defender. I'm so obsessed with you. I can't even help myself. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
I kind of think that Judith might be gone.
Which would be, honestly, in itself is interesting, because then you have an empty body in a way that I think could be meaningful and teach us something, which is awful. But that's like, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So the other big thing that I wanted to ask you about was I have never understood the thoughts above and below. And I loved John's conceit that this was like a lizard brain. There was basically an id ego, super ego kind of energy. I thought that was very cool. For me, I always assumed it was like 3 personalities, and I don't know what those would be.
I think it's that way too, but I also remember her saying basically like there's a phrase before this where she's talking about like feeling disconnected from her body, like basically she's bobbing on the end of a string like a balloon.
Yeah.
And I kind of take that and the thoughts above and thoughts below to mean that there is Nona, who is a personality distinct from Alecto, and Harrow is in there.
Okay. So Harrow knows what it is, and Alecto knows what it is, and Nona does not. That's like the...
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Nona
that works
is
for me.
Nona is the middle ground, and I think the top thoughts are probably more likely to be Harrow, and the bottom thoughts are more likely to be Alecto.
Which is what's being suppressed. Okay, I'm here for that. I like that a lot.
That has always been my interpretation, but I think it's also vague enough that you can interpret it however you want, so... Well,
that's all I've got.
Yeah. It does remind me that was, like, add that to the list of things, maybe, like, the first thing of, again, we'll just have to make a list and then decide which things we want to be, like, didactic, like, we would like to talk to you about this now, and which things we want to wait for murder boarding, but I think that the math is one that we've talked about a lot.
One that's definitely worth bringing up. Yeah.
Because that's almost explicitly brought up, and you kind of have to know what happens at the end of Alecto and then read the beginning of Harrow where they talk about the math to be like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Ooh, who knows? These people have real lives, Marie. I have been told that they have jobs, that they have families. But I'm kind of hoping they abandon all of that in order to go back and reread Gideon the Ninth and Harrow the Ninth, like very intensely, basically immediately after we record the end of Alecto.
We forgot to ask John if he's been listening to
we should have asked him
episodes of spoilers, because he can now, but also he needs to write down all of his thoughts before he goes and listens to our spoilers.
Yeah. It's a fun time to be alive.
Not going to do that.
No.
At least not before we murder board.
Nope. And I think that's okay also.
John might.
I'm so glad we have this seems like a very good time actually to say again what a like privilege and pleasure it's been to do this with this group of 4, which was not honestly an obvious thing to predict.
Not a guarantee. Not a guarantee. Not good. Not easy to predict. The fact that it has worked has been amazing. And honestly, what a delight. Like, I know we will continue to do our discussions and everything, Hannah, but this is the last one where it's just you and me.
You're totally right. That's a little sad. That's really sad. We may actually have to just hang out. Like
like on purpose. I thought that's why we were doing a podcast. You have to have a project to be like, yes, I have an excuse to go talk to my friends for a couple hours.
I mean,
everybody leave me alone.
The thing is, I'm not going to be writing outlines and you're not going to be editing anymore. And so
I know
we could take the time to then just start our other podcast.
I mean,
bring it on today,
my husband
I learned.
did. Yeah, no, I did bring up Alpha Gal to my husband.
As you should, because it's fascinating and it's upsetting. No one wants to be allergic to meat. No one wants to be allergic to anything. God, if I could conquer death, I would conquer allergies before I could conquer death. Oh, God. 2 in 1 if you can conquer allergies.
Okay, that seems like a great place to end this.
Nailed it.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Act 6. I can definitely read Roman numerals by this time. See you next time, my little nunlets. Well, it looks like we are headed back to the shuttle field where it all began, so hold on to your seats. We'll be back next week to finish Note of the Ninth. If you want to follow along with us, our reading calendar is available on our website at frontlinefifth.podbean.com, and you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok, which John now has access to. So it's going to be so much shit posting. Those are both linked in the show notes. If you enjoyed this podcast, please tell your friends and give us a 5-star rating anywhere you can. And of course, if you didn't enjoy the podcast, feel free to lie. We have a Patreon, which you can join for access to bonus content every month. You can become a patron. We'd rally if any of them were in the back of the mega truck at patreon.com/frontlinefifth. And you can check out our merch at our Redbubble store linked in the show notes. That's staying in. Finally, if you have any fun theories you'd like to share with us, feel free to email us at frontlinefifth@gmail.com. I'm not editing any of this. If you have stuck around this long, leave a little comment on Spotify where I can see them that you appreciate my stupid editing, because you only have another couple episodes of it. With that, I'll just remind you not to unlock any tunes or enter any doors without permission, because you know ghosts. Bye!
Frontline Fifth is a Locked Tomb podcast conceived by Marie Adamako and starring Marie Adamako, Hanna Grunwald, Brooke Anderson, and John Ryan. Our cover art was designed and created by Marie Adamako, who also edited this episode. Our fabulous music was composed and recorded by Blake Anderson. Sonia Grunwald designs our killer merch. Hot. Gorgeous. The Locked Tomb series is a completely dope-ass book series by Tamsin Muir, who does not know we exist and is in no way affiliated with this podcast. But we're working on that in the Alecto break.